Today we're drawing lots of curves and circles to relieve our stress. Now I'm no professional, but doing this sort of drawing really helps me to calm down and to set aside thoughts that are cluttering my mind, so I thought I'd share it with you and it might help you too. The first step is to draw a small circle anywhere on your page and then surround it with a slightly larger circle. Next, we're going to draw a big curve, and then we're going to cut the curve in half by drawing another curve underneath it, and then fill that inside area with circles. It's very simple. Big curve, cut the curve in half with another line, and then fill the inside part with circles. Do this over and over again until you have a flower the size you like. You could do one flower to fill the entire page. You could do a lot of really small ones. It's totally up to you. We're not trying to be particularly neat. We're not trying to make any kind of fantastic work of art. We're just trying to clear our head, do some repetitive motions, and create something beautiful in the process. That first curve, you can attack a little bit aggressively. It's a big swoopy line, and then you cut it in half, and then you fill it with circles. You just keep going for as many flowers as you like. And while we're drawing these flowers, let me tell you a little bit about the paper I'm drawing on here. It is just a piece of paper that you would use in your computer printer or at a copy machine, and I have taken a lot of colors of acrylic paint and thinned them out. It's like half paint and half water, and then just take a whole bunch of pages and we'll splatter paint on them. We'll use brushes, we'll use wadded up plastic to put color on the pages, and you just really saturate them, and when they dry you have this somewhat tie-dye look. And depending on how many colors or how you've laid them out, they're really great for backgrounds. And when I'm doing just a black pen drawing like this, it's kind of fun to use them because it adds color without you having to do any extra work when you're sitting down to draw. Just keep going with that repetitive motions. 2 lines, fill the inside with circles. 2 curves, fill the inside with circles. I liked putting mine in kind of a layered manner. I didn't want to go all the way to the edge, so I was real paid attention and left myself a good margin there. And you can tell I'm terrible at drawing circles. My circles really, it's very hard for me to get the beginning and end to connect correctly, so I've always got a little squiggle on one side or the other. The next thing I wanted to do is kind of fill in those gaps with black. In most places the flowers are totally overlapping, but there's a few little background areas, so I colored those in. And the next thing I decided to do is to add a little more depth to these flowers. I went in and colored behind all of the circles in each little area, and I really felt like that gave them a lot more structure. Now if you're doing this purely for stress relief, you could stop and not do this step. It's totally up to you. I also thought about if you wanted a little bit different look, instead of coloring the background, you could have colored the circles themselves. So I'm showing you how I did it with the first one, and then we're going to just skip on forward to the place where I had them all complete. They're all complete, and you can see them a little better on the background. Now I decided I wanted to frame it, so I took a thick chisel point Sharpie and just drew a line all the way around the exterior. And I'll tell you, if you're going to do something like this with a Sharpie, I would recommend putting a background piece of paper behind it. I didn't realize how much this was bleeding through, and I had quite a mess on my table when I was done, but it cleaned up just fine. So now we're going to add some color to the center so they're not so hollow looking. And there you have it. By the time I was finished with this, I was feeling a whole lot better. YouTube thinks you'd like this video here on the left, and I think you'd like this playlist here on the right. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you'll draw with me again soon.